Hey y'all, I want to talk about Riven in VR. That's right, Riven, the sequel to Myst, is out on virtual reality platforms. You can get it on the Quest 3 and the Quest 2. I played it on the Quest 2. Now, I never played the original Riven. I played a little bit of the original Myst and a little bit of the remake that came out a couple years ago. And I like these kind of puzzle heavy games, but I'm also really terrible at them, especially with these. And I usually have to have a walkthrough consistently to get me through it, but I still yet somehow enjoy the experience. I don't know why. So I was excited to try out Riven for the first time, but I was more curious of how it was going to feel in VR. So I was curious to see if Riven in VR was going to be easier of an experience than me trying to play on the PC in terms of figuring stuff out, because VR, you're interacting with stuff more and using your hands, and you can like physically move around the space more to kind of see all the clues and all that. So I was curious to see if it was gonna be an easier experience for me, and at least for me, it actually wasn't. I was still struggling trying to figure out what to do in this game, just as if I was playing it on PC. It was a slight disadvantage too, since I didn't know what I was doing all the time. I still needed to look like walkthroughs and get help like I would have playing it on the PC. And it made the experience like a little bit more difficult because you'd have to like lift up the headset so I can go and look up what I need to do, then put the headset back on instead of looking from one screen to the next super easily. The interactive elements are really cool though. You can actually like look through the journals by like physically grabbing the journals out of like this bag that you're carrying, and you can actually like flip through all the pages and get like the background lore from the first game, and it kind of catches you up on what the story is. So that was really cool that I could physically like hold the book and read everything. I know like originally in these games a lot of time they had actual actors in them portraying the characters, and at least for this VR one they actually created full non-actor characters. They had just traditional like game characters in it. They were right there in front of you, how it is with VR. It was really cool, but it was interesting experiences, and I have like actors kind of like shoved into the scenery background or anything like that. They like fully created characters from the ground up, recreations of them for this experience. And moving around the world was cool. It was cool to live that sort of environment and play a more puzzle-heavy game in VR. I really enjoyed that aspect to it, being able to interact with everything. Overall, the experience of it was good, and I would recommend trying it out in VR if you like it. However, the big catch I would say is that if you have a Quest 2, I can't recommend necessarily getting it, at least at this time. Since I was playing on the Quest 2, there was a lot of like terror, especially when you were moving around. It was doing the thing that I used to see, like on my PC a lot more frequently. Like as my PC's getting older, it's taking a second or two for textures to pop up on the screen. And I was actually seeing that in VR, which was my first time experiencing it. It definitely feels like Riven is meant to play on the Quest 3 or a stronger headset than the Quest 2. It works, but you definitely notice the tech and the game trying to catch up and match with each other to give you the experience. So that kind of took me out of it. It was happening pretty frequently as I was moving around. Not so much the stuff around me or close by me, just more of like the background, like the ocean, because I was surrounded by water. I started noticing as I was moving around, the water textures would be in a little late, and everything just seemed a little bit fuzzier than I would normally notice on other VR experiences on the Quest 2. So I think it's just one of those where if you want to try this out, I think it's definitely worth trying, just only if you have a Quest 3 or a stronger headset that can handle it. It's hard for me to recommend trying it on the Quest 2 because you're going to be taken out of the experience quite a bit with all these texture uploading and all that. And if you are looking for an easier experience with it, you're not going to get one here. It's just a different way of experiencing the game. The difficulty hasn't really changed all that much. It's going to be for people who've already wanted to try this game to begin with, who are fans of this series overall, who already are interested in getting it. This is a game for you.